Gundam, the Battle Master.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at Gundam, the Battle Master, for the PlayStation. This game was released in Japan only in 1997, and it was developed and published by Bandai, with an assist from Natsume, who had developed the amazing Endless Duel for the Super Famicom. It's actually the first game in the series that eventually came to be known as Gundam Battle Assault. The plot sets itself apart from the usual Gundam story about wars between Earth and the space colonies, and instead centers around a number of bounty hunters in possession of mobile suits, which were invented as a means of protection for the human beings colonizing new planets. The mobile suits themselves are recognizable from different Gundam series, but the characters piloting them, on the other hand, I don't recognize at all outside of this game. Battle Master is a 2D fighter, and if you've played one of the Battle Assault games, then it's more or less just like those, but it features a handful of gameplay mechanics that would be changed later. First of all, I'll just say that the movement of the mobile suits is what I expected when I first played Endless Duel. They move rather slowly if you're not using your boosters, and they feel very robotic, which is appropriate, but also takes a little of the steam out of the gameplay. Luckily, you can use your boosters and fly infinitely, which was later changed. You also can't block projectiles in this game unless you use an energy shield or dodge into the background, which makes for some pretty cheap matches that consist of nothing but projectiles. There are also no super combos, just a few special moves that take away from your energy gauge, which can only be refilled by landing attacks. Your health meter is broken into 4 separate sections that fall away as you take damage, and repeatedly being hit in the same area will gradually break away the armor on your mobile suit. There are a handful of boss battles in the arcade mode, and these suits are massive, some not even fitting on the screen, requiring you to fly up to strike them in the head, and I really like these battles. Pretty much all of this was changed in the sequels to make them more like other fighting games, and whether or not this was for the best is up to the individual, but I personally prefer the gameplay in Battle Master. I find it to be more strategic and definitely more challenging than the later games. Sure, it's not a typical fighting game, but that's okay. If I want to play one of those, I can, but when I want something a little different, for better or worse, I can play Gundam Battle Master.
Here we go. Over.
The presentation in Battle Master is good for the most part, but I think it suffers in spots as far as the visuals are concerned. The mobile suits themselves look really good. They feature a lot of detail, and it's cool to see them gradually accumulate damage, and their movement is very appropriate. Again, it's robotic, and that's what I'd expect. The stages, on the other hand, aren't so great. They look okay, they're detailed enough, I guess, but there's literally no animation whatsoever, which is pretty lame. The graphics on the 16-bit Endless Duel should not be better than the 32-bit Battle Masters, but they are. The soundtrack, on the other hand, is really good. It's pretty much all high-energy rock tracks filled with synthesizers and screaming guitars. It's definitely got that 90s anime feel to it, which I really like. The sound effects are amazing as well, and for the most part lifted directly from the Gundam anime series. Again, I prefer the soundtrack from Endless Duel. Natsume games always had great soundtracks, but this one is still really good. Overall, while it's not the most impressive looking 2D fighter you're gonna play on a 32-bit console, it still accurately represents the source material, and the soundtrack is very fitting for this kind of game.
Wealth and glory to the winner.
So this is a pretty fun game and something different as far as 2D fighters go. I'd recommend it to fans of the genre and especially to fans of Gundam, which is always popular. Luckily, if you'd like a copy for yourself, this and all of the games in the Battle Assault series for that matter are really reasonably priced, usually no more than 10 to 20 bucks, which it's well worth. If you're looking for a 2D fighter that gives you some giant robots, huge guns, and energy swords to play around with, then get yourself a copy of Gundam Battle Master or Gundam Battle Assault. They're all awesome.
You better go fight some more.